All right, so we are going to try to replicate this card from Jennifer McGuire. I don't know if it's exactly going to work the same way because I realized I cut the paper a little bit too short, but we are going to attempt it. So, per Jennifer's instructions to make this card it's called an instant dimension card is what she called it. The cardstock needs to be 6 1/4, which means it's a little tiny bit short. 6 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then we're going to score each side at a 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So we're going to give that a shot. So here's a 1/2 inch. And here's 1 inch. And then we flip it around. 1/2 inch and 1 inch. All right, so now we have our scored stuff. We're going to put this off to the side. And this is our scored panel that is going to be the back of the card. So then after that, we're going to turn, I guess it's going to go this way, right? That makes sense. All right, so what I'm going to do is I have this stamp set, and it has dies with it as well, and a stencil. I'm going to stencil onto the background so that it's kind of like cohesive. And then I have all the stencils here. I've not used these stencils yet, so we're going to give this a shot and see how it works. Yep, we're going to pause this really quick, and I'm going to get set up for stenciling, and I'll be right back, and we'll see how it goes. All right. All right, so the first color we're going to use is Squeeze Lemonade Distress Oxide, and that is going to be for the flowers. I made a little tiny mark on the card panel where oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for words today. Yeah, where I scored it. There we go, scored it, so that I would know where to put all the stencils because I don't want the stencils to move. And it was really hard to see my score lines. I thought I could just line it up with the score lines the way it was, but it would not. I couldn't see it well enough, so we're just going to do this. I have not used this stencil yet. I've used other parts of the stamp set, like some of the greetings and stuff like that, but I have not used this stencil set. So I just did that, and there's my first layer. There are 6 stencils in this set, so we will be going through them number by number. This one is number 2, and the way that I'm using it is I'm just making sure that I line up the little lines, and I have the printing that says stencil 2 that the company that Pink Fresh Studio put on there. I'm putting that right there, and we are lining it up, and we're going to tape it down. I have a feeling that because I'm choosing to do this with the stencils, that this one card is going to take me a really long time. But we will see how it turns out. So for this, because this is the greenery, I have decided to switch to, we're going to do, for this greenery, I think we're going to do the darker one. We're going to do Rustic Wilderness. So get my blending brush out here for the darker green. I really need one of those ink stand things. I really need to just bite the bullet and order myself one. I really do. All right, blending. This is probably going to make me feel like I know what the heck I'm doing because this is looking like it's going to turn out beautiful. I've not really used too many layering stencils yet in my craft making or card making. I know that I probably should, but I just have not. I don't really even have a good reason why. I have a couple in my collection now. This one was recently handed down to me. I shouldn't say recently. I think I've had it almost a year now, unfortunately, and I just haven't gotten around to using it. One of my friends on Instagram was doing a giveaway, and I was lucky enough to win her giveaway of hand-me-down crafty goodies. So, new to me was this one, and I noticed the other day when I was trying to find examples of this card, that this set has actually been unfortunately discontinued by Pink Fresh Studio. However, if you are interested in something similar to this, Pink Fresh Studio does have a lot of very similar stamp and die sets, so that would, accomplish a similar technique, and because Pink Fresh is very known for all of their beautiful flower things. So, I should not be leaving these brushes here. Let's clean these up. So, this is going to go on here, just like this. See, I'm lining it up. It's probably hard to see on camera, but I'm lining up all of these the little black marks with the little tick marks that are put on the stencil. This was the best way I could think of to make this work without it being a really big pain in the butt. And I'm kind of also just looking at the picture that I've already done and the stencils, or like through the stencil. So for this, I decided that we were going to do pink. I think the center of these flowers, I want them to be white. So I might actually just take my biggest jelly roll. Well, this is the glitter jelly roll. I don't want to use that one. I want it to be white. So you know what? Maybe this is something I should do at the very end because this won't dry very fast. So for now, we're just going to leave these the way they are. We're going to do all the rest of the stuff with the pink. This is the blending brush. We're going to use Spun Sugar Distress Oxide. And we're going to do all the flowers with the exception of the centers. So we're going to use all these little pink flowers. And this card is going to be used as a Mother's Day card because I'm trying to get a head start on the Mother's Day card situation because, my family needs a lot of Mother's Day cards because I like to send them to my sister-in-law and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's just fun because, very few people get mail these days that's not either junk or a bill. So I just feel like sending something personal like this to somebody when they have the potential to maybe feel underappreciated or under noticed is really fun. Like for me, sending something unexpected is super duper. So I will be making extra Mother's Day cards. Ooh, that's really pretty. Look at that. I love it. So that was stencil number 3. After I'm done with this, I will be going to wash my stencils very quickly because I don't want them to stay dirty. All right, stencil 4, and it's lined up the right way. Da-da-da. All right, and I am checking to make sure that they look like they're in the right spot because I don't want to mess this up because it's one of those things that, like, if you get to this point and then you mess it up, it's kind of, you kind of messed it up a lot because you've already done so much work. All right, so mustard seed is the one for this layer. And I think we're just going to use the same yellow blending brush that we used. Oh no, what's going on with this? Okay, or is it moldy? I don't know. I guess we'll try to use it and see what happens. I haven't used mustard seed for a while. All right, so blend, 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 and let's see how it turns out. Close up the ink. Now I'm curious about what's going on with that ink pad. I guess we'll have to keep an eye on it. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at that. It gives it so much dimension when you add that layer of the stencil on. That's so cool. All right, stencil 5. And let's line this up here. All right, top. Oh, you know what? I think I went backwards with the colors. I should have done the other color first. Shoot. Let's see if I have a darker green. No, I do not. So we did mowed lawn. Let's try rustic wilderness. Let's see how this works. I don't know if it's gonna work because now that we already did the darker color, I don't know if this is gonna work. It might not show up. Also, I have some tiny little ink blending brushes that I got as a giveaway from, I don't know, Waffle Flower or something recently. Also, I have not used them yet. I need to do that. All right, here's the grand reveal. If this is going to work. Is it going to look good or is it going to be weird? Ooh, it worked. You see it, sort of. It would have been better if I would have done it the other way, but it is what it is. I even meant to do it the other way, but I forgot. Okay, so that's that. And then I think the very last stencil, I believe I was going to do it in Mermaid Lagoon. So this is number 6. And let's see, line it up. Perfect. Wait a minute. So this is going over all the pink stuff. So we're going to just we're going to change our, we're going to change our thought process here. This is not going to get, this is not going to get Mermaid Lagoon. It's going to get Not that. How about picked raspberry? That's a good one. Picked raspberry is a darker pink, also. And in hindsight, if I knew that it wasn't going to be something completely separate, I didn't look very closely at the stencils before I started, so I didn't realize what it was going to be. But that's really bright. Okay. We're going to not do the colors, the centers of the flowers, because I want those to be white. All right. So we're just going to do this and this really carefully. And then we're going to do, I don't know if I have this stencil lined up all the way right, but it looks close enough. All right, centers of the flowers are still white. And well, that's really pretty. I like that. I love that actually. All right, so there's that. I'm going to go wash my stencils and then I'll be back to show you how I'm going to do the rest of the card. All right. So off camera, I colored this. This is the same image with the stamp from the Punch Bunch Pink Fresh Studios stamp set. However, I stamped it with skeleton leaves, and then I colored it with watercolor colored pencils. And I'm going to take this blender brush, blender pen, I guess, and I'm going to blend it so it looks more watercolored. And then I'm going to cut it out with the die from this stamp set, and I'm going to speed up the coloring process for you so you don't have to watch me do this because there's no technique to it. It's literally so easy. Like, I'm just going to start right here and you just kind of move the color around if you've never used these kind of watercolor pencils before. So it's super easy. But like I said, I'm going to spare you the boredom of watching me do this, and I'm going to speed up the viewing process and come back with it die cut because everybody knows how to do that, right? All right, I know you just watched me do all of that stenciling on this, which did take a while. This whole card actually takes quite a while because I made it more involved than I make most of my cards. So I'm trying to put a lot of detail into this. We're going to use this French script to do the front panel of the card, and this French script is no longer available. However, I did find something that's very similar and would produce the same effect that is currently available. So I will link that in the description box below. I'm going to use skeleton leaves on this because I just like how minimal it looks like. And I did see how I put it like one square away from each side of the Misty when I did it, and it worked out great. And then I decided I want just the word happy, and so we're going to use this happy this is from, I don't know, I'll link it in the description box below. I can't remember what company. Oh, it's Simon Says stamp. It's called Groovy Happy Birthday. I cut the top part of the shadow out of that darker pink cardstock twice with my die cutting machine, and then we're just cutting the happy letters out of the lighter pink. I'm kind of trying to go with a very feminine theme with this since it is colors and very springy. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Now, the way that you cut this out to do only the top, it doesn't have to be exact because after I put all the letters on, I'm going to just glue those together so they're stronger and thicker. Gluing the two layers together, and I'm going to use these very sharp tweezers, reverse tweezers that I got. I like them. However, they are very sharp. They're nice precision reverse tweezers though. So I'm going to start with the H, and then I'm going to switch over to the Y. This is how I've found to get the best spacing when you don't know exactly where the letters need to go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to alternate ends. Like, I'm just going to put the H and then the Y, then the A, and then I'm going to go to the P at the other end, just so that I can, yes, I do realize I have some of the other letters from the word birthday there. We're obviously not going to use those. Those are going to be swept into the trash. But yeah, so I'm going to glue these down. These precision tweezers are very cool. I believe they're EK Success. I got them at Scrapbooks Forever a few months ago. Love them. This might have been my first time using them, but I love them. So now that this is glued together and it's dried, I'm going to just kind of freehand it a little bit because you can see on the top of the die, it's kind of like a little bit wonky where the letters go in and stuff. So I'm just going to kind of freehand it and make it look how I like. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's 2 layers of cardstock, so it'll be stronger for the shadow. And then now we're going to stamp the word happy mother, or the sentiment happy Mother's Day from the Mama Elephant happy everything sentiment, I think, strips. We're going to stamp that on this pink, the lighter pink cardstock. And I am going to put I'm gonna make this have texture too. That's what I'm doing right here with this one, this strip. So uh, we're going to do some folds on this. So we're going to use the scoreboard to put our score marks at 1/2 inch and 1 inch from the end of each of those little strips that I had there, because those little strips are going to get glued to the back of the sentiment, and those are going to pop that sentiment up on the card. This card is inspired by Jennifer McGuire. Every month in her Share Handmade Kindness group on Facebook, she does a different technique that she kind of like highlights from the past. And so this was the one for April, and I thought I'd give it a try since I've never done this before. And I figured that um, I would also let you guys know while I'm doing this that today, Thursday, April 18th, 2024, is the very last day to get the early bird pricing on the Paper Crafters Get Organized Ultimate Organization Bundle. Tomorrow, or actually, yeah, tomorrow at 12:01, Friday, the price goes up. So, very last chance to get your low priced Ultimate Organization Bundle. And I'm super excited because I am, in fact, speaking at this event. So, I would love to see you there. My presentation is on Sunday morning, and then after my presentation, I will be doing a live Q&A. So I would love to see you all there so you can see what I'm sharing and hopefully get your craft room organized. All right, so back to the card. I did cut up those, I cut up the big floral arrangement that I colored in the beginning of the video, and I cut it in half so I could put that on the outside of the card, and then we're using an oval die cut to cut out the center of this, and this will be how you notice the pop-up feature. So I did make sure, because those folds are a 1/2 inch that we did on the base part of the card, or that we will be doing on the base part of the card. Those are a 1/2 inch. So I knew that I needed my oval to at least have 1/2 inch clearance from the edge of the front card panel. You'll see what I'm getting at here in a minute. But we're trimming these down with scissors with long blades are the best to do this with, because once you've glued those on, you kind of need like a lot of clearance to be able to clean that up. All right, so here is the the back part of the card, and you're gonna fold it over and score it, or not score it, burnish it down, and then you're gonna fold it again. So this is kind of like creating a hinge that's gonna help your card pop up. So you fold it over the whole way, and you burnish it down, and then you fold it back on your other score line. So that's when it's folded like that, it's a 1/2 inch. So this is where I was meaning I needed a 1/2 inch clearance, so you wouldn't see that fold. Like if I would have put a bigger oval on there, it would have shown your folds. So we're going to use the Mama Elephant with that party dress ink, and we're going to stamp a sentiment strip onto that lighter pink cardstock. I'm going to do it in my Misty, and you're not going to really be able to see it. I do 2 thicknesses of the cardstock, and then I'm going to trim it down because I didn't like how wide it was. So we're trimming it down in the paper trimmer. And now we're just going to see how long it needs to be, and I'm cutting a banner end on the end of it with my punch. I love that trusty punch. I'll keep it forever. And then we're just going to dab glue on the ends of it. And unfortunately, after it dried, I realized it wasn't as straight as I would like it, but it is what it is. All right, now I put the base of my card into the corner of my Misty. And I did this so that I could make sure that I lined everything up perfectly when I glue it together. So I'm going to run liquid glue down the strips there, and then I'm holding that down, and I'm going to get something heavy, which I have a glass block there, and I have the magnets from my Misty as well. I'm going to put those on the other corners because I don't have a big enough glass block or clear block. And here's the finished product. Let me know in the comments below if you would try a card like that, and do you like how this one turned out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.